When life gets unpredictable, preparation matters. In medicine, it's all about staying alert, ready for whatever comes through the door. On the road, it's no different. That's why Volvo designs vehicles to help anticipate risk, reduce harm, and protect lives. The Volvo XC90's advanced safety systems inspire confident decisions wherever the road takes you. The Volvo XC90, for life. Proud sponsor of the Pit Podcast. Learn more at volvocars.ca/safety.
All right, welcome back to the Elias Makos Show. And now a story about retail and security guards and undercover plainclothes security guards and just what they're allowed to do in performing their jobs. We had a listener reach out to us, and he's now in studio. Peter Giambattisto joins us in studio. He's the father of a 13-year-old girl that was involved in an incident at their local Jean Coutu. Peter, thanks for coming in studio this morning.
Thanks for having me, Elias.
Why don't you give us the story here? Tell us what happened to your daughter, 13 years old. What happened to her when she went to the local Jean Coutu store?
Okay, well, I'll start from the beginning. I was in the Eastern Townships getting my camper ready for the end of season. Yeah. And around 5 p.m., I get a call from my wife in tears. And she goes to me, someone just tried to abduct our daughter. The phone call no parent ever wants to hear in their life. So she calls me and lets me know that someone tried to abduct our daughter and that my daughter called 911. And I immediately go, is she okay? She was right around the corner at a friend's house, not too far from where she was, and she was on her way to see her. So she hangs up the phone and just immediately my mind is racing. What's going on? She calls me back and I get to talk to my daughter, and my daughter's in tears as well. She's very scared. And, I said, you did good thing calling 911 and running across the street. Yeah. Asked her what happened. She said a man grabbed her. He was behind her saying, excuse me. A man grabbed her. She struggled away. And then afterwards, he put his hand on her shoulder. Mm-hmm. But she still managed to get away, and she called 911. So, I'm sitting there waiting for updates. My wife's, we're just waiting for the police to get there. Police arrive. And then I don't hear from her for a few minutes. A few minutes later, she calls me back. She's like, they're taking us back to Jean Coutu. And I'm like, I don't understand. What's going on? Yeah. Apparently, the person that assaulted her was a security guard. And that now the cops are taking her in to interrogate her for shoplifting because they got a call for 2 girls shoplifting. So immediately it switched from 2 young girls calling 911 to prosecuting these 2 young women, young girls.
So your daughter was the one to call 911.
She called 911 and ran across the street. Then 2 police officers showed up to see my daughter, who called 911, but I don't know what happened in the middle, but they were brought back to Jean Coutu because the Pharmaprix is just across the street. Yeah. And once they got to Jean Coutu, the police started saying, accusing my daughter of shoplifting.
Is there anything to the accusation of shoplifting?
None. There's absolutely nothing. There was just the word of 3 cashiers.
Gotcha.
Who I've heard all their testimony as to what it was completely ridiculous. So after that, they bring my daughter into the back room, and the police start their investigation. They're being very accusatory of the kids. And, my wife is like...
Your wife is there?
My wife is with the kids,
okay.
And so is the mother of the other. So there was actually 2 girls involved. Okay. Only my daughter was touched. Okay. So they've now completely disregarded the fact that 2 girls called 911. Now they're switching right into accusing them of shoplifting. Yeah. So they do their investigation. They view the tapes, and they're like, no, there was no shoplifting done. So they're like, okay, well, that's it.
So it's on tape. Your daughter and this other girl, it's on tape. There was no shoplifting involved.
There was no shoplifting, and I actually, the security company showed me the tapes yesterday. So I watched the entire thing, and there's a few things. One, my daughter I looked at it, if they had a bag or if they were wearing baggy clothes or somewhere to put something, I'd be like, okay, I can see it. My daughter was holding her phone and some merchandise she already bought from Pharmaprix. So she walked in, and I could see that the cosmetician saw them walk in with merchandise.
Gotcha.
So watching the tapes, I saw the whole tape myself. They walked through the store. I saw the security guard once, but he wasn't following them through the store. You can tell that he got radioed to look, but obviously he didn't see anything because he wasn't trailing them.
Gotcha.
So my daughter goes to the cash, pays for the item, and then leaves. As she's leaving, I then can see the security guard come out of nowhere and rush up behind her. Like he's going quite quickly up, and he's got a box of Advil.
Yeah.
And and that was the first thing my daughter told me. She's like, "There's a man. There was a man behind me with a box of Advil." So,
and your daughter has no idea this person's a security guard because they're plain clothes and not identifying themselves as such.
Did not identify himself. The only thing he said was, "Excuse me." And at no point, there was many points in this store itself where they had a chance to at least ask, "Excuse me, girls, is that, where's that coming from?" Also, they went to the cash, and that was another point where they could have said, "Are you going to pay for that?"
Yes, that's right.
So none of that happened. Yeah. So afterwards, the police officers said, that they're, which surprised me, there's no crime. Even if this man put his hand on my daughter, they're like, "We're just putting our hands up because technically there's no crime."
So I want to read, this is because we reached out to Jean Coutu about this incident. I want to read Jean Coutu's response. They say, "We are aware and concerned about this situation. The store and the security company with which it does business have been and are still in communication with the girl's father." Obviously,
Correct.
That's you. "We apologize for any inconvenience the situation may have caused. An investigation is still underway to shed light on the circumstances surrounding this event." Now, if you're telling us just now that you got to meet with the security company,
I absolutely did.
Has there been any type of closure or?
From their end, and I understand it from their end, there's no video of him putting his hand on her. And he's saying he didn't do it.
Because there's no video cameras outside.
There's no video. Well, there is 2 video cameras, but they don't work.
Okay.
They're dummies. And because I went and I spoke, because the general manager from the Jean Coutu actually reached out to me as well.
Yeah.
So I went in and I took a look at, I'm like, there's 21 cameras in here.
Yeah.
The only 2 that are facing outside don't work.
What have you learned in this ordeal about what the law says about what these security guards, private security guards, just what they can get away with? Are they allowed to grab your daughter?
We also went to the police station afterwards, and it was explained to me from the police officer at the front and a sergeant that they work within the citizens arrest law. So technically, they are, if they deem it necessary, they're allowed to use force. But they're the ones. So they essentially, the cops have deputized these security guards. And I was also told there at the same as well, they need their help, which I agree with.
Yeah.
But I also, I challenge them asking, well, what part of the law allows a 40-year-old man, because I saw this man put his hands on a 13-year-old girl.
Yeah.
And they just kept going on about the law. And they actually told me that had he grabbed my daughter and my daughter kicked him, which I thought she did at first, he's like, well, he could have charged your daughter with assault. Because he was just fulfilling his duty. We
also reached out to Public Security, Quebec Public Security. They pointed out to us that you can file a complaint with the Bureau de la Sécurité Privée, the BSP.
Which we've done.
You've done that.
Of course, yes. And we've done everything that they've told us. But without any proof, without this camera, everyone's just wiping their hands, going, Jean Coutu made terrible accusations, so they're not held accountable for basically trying my daughter as a criminal before she even left, and they had every opportunity to find out the truth. They didn't. They just, I can see the security guard come out and just follow them out. Like, he wasn't near them until that they were outside the door, and also he grabbed outside the store. So
it's the he said of the security guard versus the she said of your daughter.
And that's it. And that's what I said yesterday. I'm like, we're not getting anywhere. It's just a he said, she said situation now. And now it's a 13-year-old girl's word against a 40-year-old man.
How's your daughter doing? Is this...
She's okay. The first thing she said after speaking, she's like, "Daddy, I want a taser." I'm like, "No, you don't have to get a taser. We're okay. We're still in NDG."
Yeah.
But I just, wanted her to know that I don't want to let this just be another thing that just happens and think it's okay. for anyone to just grab a minor.
After meeting the security company, are you any closer to his resolution?
Well, the security company did say that they are going to change their rules when it comes to dealing with a minor. That they're not going to, if they're going to deal with a minor, it's on camera, for sure on camera, and it's no touching.
Yeah.
And it's just, which I thought was great in the moment, but shouldn't that already be a rule? Shouldn't there just be a universal rule that a grown man is not allowed to touch a young girl?
And the other thing here that I think makes it trickier is this is a plain clothes person.
There was nothing. He didn't identify himself.
Yeah.
He just looked, and again, with the Advil, which my daughter thought was weird because it looks like he's chasing her with the Advil.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know if he was confused, and I saw his eyes like coming out. He looked confused. He looked like he wasn't following them. He had no reason. He didn't see them do anything.
Yeah, and I just wonder about the clarity on that end. If you're plain clothes, shouldn't you have to say, if you're going to interact with someone now, shouldn't you say, I am a security guard, first things first?
That's exactly what I would think.
Well,
that's what I would think.
Peter, listen, I hope at the end of the day you get some better answers and maybe a resolution and all this. Is there anything that you're looking for? Just if the rules are clarified, they make the rules so this doesn't happen again. Is this enough for you?
Well, on the security guards end, yes. I understand their problem is that they can't prove it, but they're making at least some advances. But I also think that Jean Coutu wiping their hands of the whole thing, going, well, merry mix-up.
Yeah.
We happen to, do that with your daughter, and just with no actual proof.
Yeah.
They have some responsibility in the issue as well. And also the police to just disregard the fact that 2 young girls called 911 and were scared, and they just go, take it up with the security company. That's what happened. They're like, not our problem, not our problem.
Peter, listen, thanks for sharing the story with our listeners and on the air today. I really do appreciate you reaching out on this front. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Elias.
That's Peter Giambattisto. He's a father of the 13-year-old girl involved in that incident at Jean Coutu.